Hi, this is Dave, Fell Running Guide. Welcome to this week's map reading task. This week we've got a task in the Peak District. I want you to work out where this photograph was taken from. We've got the map, which is an extract from the Ordnance Survey 1 to 25,000, and I've put 5 coloured dots on the map there, one of which is the photo location. So how do we work out which one it is? Right, let's have a look at the photo in a bit more detail then. So what can we see? Well, first of all, if we look at the stream, and we just look down here, we can work out that the stream is flowing down towards us. So we're looking upstream. On the right hand bank really is quite steep, and this steep ground comes all the way down to the stream. On the left hand side, if we crossed over the stream, we've got this slight area here where the ground is flat before it then rises. So higher up it's steep, and then it comes down to this flattening here. If we were to go upstream, we'll see that we'd go round to the right hand side. The valley does a right hand turn if we were to walk upstream. So we've got a few little bits of information there that we can use. So let's see if that makes any sense by looking at the map. So first of all, we've got 3 possible locations on the main river, on the upper River Derwent here, and then we've got another couple on tributaries to the side. So let's have a think about the blue and the green to start with. Now the photograph showed that although the sides of the valley were fairly steep, the actual stream itself wasn't running particularly steeply. So if we just zoom in a little bit so we can see the contours in more detail at blue and green, notice that we don't have to go very far upstream until we cross a contour line. So the blue is on pretty much on a contour line, and then the next contour is there. Likewise, green is on the index contour, and we don't have to go very far upstream until we cross the next contour there, compared with, let's have a look here. So the yellow is on around about the 350 contour, but look how far upstream you actually have to go before the next contour crosses, way up here. Similarly with purple, it's a long way upstream before the next contour line, and similarly with red. So there, contour line there, and then the next one isn't up until there. So that indicates that the main valley is a bit less of a gradient than these side tributaries. So we're going to discount blue and green for now. So the next thing to think about is, does the stream bend round to the right as we go upstream? So if we start with red, if we were to walk upstream here, we get to here, and then the stream does bend round into a more northerly direction, so that fits. Purple, if we were to walk due westwards, we get to this point here and the stream bends round to the right, so that also fits. If we were at yellow, we get a slight bend to the left and then another bend round to the right there. So all 3 fit with that bend to the right. What about the contour lines? So a quick reminder on the photo, we'd expect to see this steep ground coming from quite high up on the right hand side all the way down, right down to the stream itself. So let's have a look at red. Just upstream from red, we can see the contours are very tight all the way down to the stream. At purple, upstream, no, they're not. And we've also got this quite big flat area slightly uphill and off to the right upstream. So we might expect to see that on the photo in the distance. It's certainly not as steep all the way down to the river as red. Yellow, likewise, when the stream bends round to the right, we've got quite a big flat area there before the bend with a steepening higher up, so that doesn't really fit. So red is looking more favourable. What about on the left hand side of the stream? So again, a quick reminder, can we see this slightly flatter area just before the stream with contours should be getting closer, higher up on the left hand bank? So zoomed in on the map again, but red, we can see, yes, we've got wider spacing of the contours immediately on the left hand bank and then getting close together further up slope, so that fits. Purple, well, that's the opposite. We've got very steep ground coming down on the left hand bank there and further apart on the right, so again that puts a question mark over purple. Yellow, well, yeah, it's fairly widely spaced there, but that flattening extends for several hundred meters on the left hand side before it goes up steeply. Also at yellow, we've got this band of rocks here coming along in a continuous line. We wouldn't be able to see them all, but we might expect that we could see these, the ones to the furthest north, and I don't think we can see that on the photograph. So looking up here, it's just a vegetated hillside. There's no rocky outcrop running along there, so that discounts yellow. Now, some people commented on a path on the right hand side. Let me just zoom out a little bit so we could see that. So just this little bit here. Now, what we've got to be careful of with using maps is paths, because there's lots of paths that exist in the landscape that aren't on the map and vice versa. And if we look at the map, then we can see that none of the positions show a path going all the way down right to the stream. So the path here is quite a bit higher up the slope, as it is there, as it is there, as it is there. So always use the shape of the ground, the shape of the natural features before any man-made features such as paths. But yes, the answer this week was, photo was taken from the red dot looking in a northwesterly direction upstream, that bend there with the steep ground on the right and the flatter ground on the left. So hope that makes sense. Thanks for watching. Look out for next week's map reading task. Bye for now.